The crest cap has been removed, boys. If you didn't know, now you know. There's no more crest cap, which means it's time to just literally crank out those crests and push that gear to its highest item level. Here we go. The fastest way to farm crests right now in Midnight from Dalaran Gaming. Let's get into this one.
Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and if you're somebody who's been lagging behind on your item level or waiting for that perfect time to catch up all of your odds, that moment has finally arrived with Blizzard finally pulling the gates open and uncapping crests in Midnight.
That's
you can
right.
now officially farm unlimited amount of crests starting today without any caps whatsoever. However, if you're walking into this without really a plan, you are going to burn out and waste a massive amount of time spinning your wheels. So for today's video, I wanted to cover exactly all of the best ways for you to either acquire gear, get some of the best gear, but also how to farm up these crests as effectively and efficiently as possible so that your character can be walking in by the end of this week in best in slot items. But some players are already hitting their peak item levels and literally wearing their very best gear that they're going to play for the rest of the season. With that being said, as always, if you guys want to keep up with all updates regarding Midnight in
honestly, I think it's because the nebulous void cores or something, but a lot of people are getting best in slot gear. I feel like early in this season. I don't know what Blizzard's gonna do in the coming weeks. I feel like we're gonna run out of shit to do. I don't know. Maybe I'm actually playing the game. I have no idea, but I just feel like people are gonna run out of shit to do soon. Because we're all getting our biz gear, and now crests are uncapped. We're about to watch this Samiccus video here. We're about to get crazy high, amounts of crests. We're just going to be all geared out, capped out, nothing left to do.
General, be sure to follow the channel and subscribe. But otherwise, let's dive right in. So now that crests are properly...
I'm not talking about ascendant void cores, Sylar. I'm talking about the nebulous void cores, which allow you to do bonus rolls on shit, which is helping a lot of people get their biz gear much faster. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, ascendant void cores only work on trinkets and weapons. I mean, that's a separate thing.
Farmable as of this week in particular.
That
we
just helps
do
your
see
item
a complete cap removal on crests, and this is something I actually got questions a lot on
Here we go again.
Farming my crest.
I mean, Dalaran Gaming, literally he's like the hornifier of WoW content. This guy who just has the sexiest freaking transmogs. I mean, what the hell? I can't be the only one who notices this shit. This guy has nothing but just a myriad of sexy-ass elves and sexy transmogs every time he posts a video. And it's getting to me. It's affecting me. It is. I'm not going to lie. What the hell's going on here?
What the cap means...
I came for crest farming. Now I got to go spend some time alone after the video. What the hell?
Means for farmable crests is previously there was a certain amount of crests you can collect a week. On every one of your characters, a certain amount of adventure crest, veteran crest, champion, hero, and mythic. So this was previously gated. You could only get so much in a single week.
You're about to order G Fuel. Does it go well with vodka? Yeah. Use code Samiccus to get up to 30% off. I'm sure it'll taste better.
Now you can farm them endlessly. Previously there would be like an actual cap for this, like with bloody tokens in particular. There would be an actual limit maximum for the week, and that limit would just increase every single week. That limit has now been lifted, so you can basically farm these endlessly. Yes. So this means you can do whatever activities you want, whether it is dungeons, whether it is other solo activities to get all your currencies, in order to be able to fully upgrade all of your items and weapons. This also works for crafting items as well, because the crafts in particular do require quite a lot of currency. Previously, when crafting items, like weapons in particular, for example, it not only took you sparks of radiance in order to be able to craft these,
to crest,
you did get these on a weekly basis. What really stopped you was the lack of mythic crest, because you really wanted to invest those in some of the must-have trinkets and other items.
Right.
So it made it harder for you to get all your crafted pieces with the powerful embellishments. But now, since you can farm mythic dawn crests in particular endlessly, you can basically get all of your crafted gear out of the way. Which means one of the biggest hurdles when it comes to getting yourself crafted items on your character, especially with some of those extra additional powerful bonuses, that has been completely lifted as of this week as well.
Just farm out those crests now.
Now, as for the different methods how you farm the crest as well as the items you will be using to upgrade this crest, let's first start off with a hero crest, which is used to upgrade heroic track gear or hero track items in particular. These, if you are a solo player especially, are probably your best crest for you to collect, since majority of solo content that doesn't really do group stuff will primarily be focusing on hero crests and heroic gear, which is pretty easy to acquire. So the actual crests themselves, I think right now, as of this update, if you're looking to farm these endlessly and as quickly as possible,
ritual sites.
I think the fastest way of doing it right now is actually ritual sites.
Yeah.
Especially if you set them to tier 5. Make sure to slap some of the easy...
I know he said solo too, but honestly, if you can get like one friend Just one friend. I know that's a lot for WoW players. You know, just that one, just one person that you interact with time to time. I feel like ritual sites don't scale at like the same rate as like adding another person on a group for a ritual site does. So like if you can get one, I mean even better if you get a full group, you seriously can blast through a freaking tier 5 ritual site in like 3 minutes. Honestly, you fly through that shit. So you can get these crests, like just farm the crap out of them. Now, are these soloable? Yeah, they don't even take long if you're solo either. But just a little side tip there. It's like if you can find a person or two, man, you really crank these things out fast.
Your challenges within ritual sites to make the runs go faster. And when you are doing runs, don't try to clear ritual sites fully. Don't try to slay every enemy and every rare. Just focus on those main primary objectives, usually 6 different mini bosses you gotta kill, and then you gotta kill a second bigger mini boss, and then the final boss at the end of the run. The faster you can get through those, the better. If you can run them as solo or with other players, which way you prefer. But if you are doing them solo on a character that can decently sustain themselves and survive the bosses, those runs can basically be like 10-minute runs for a ton of hero crests very, very quickly. Probably even faster than delve farming in particular, so definitely worth doing it if you are trying to farm a bunch of hero crests.
It's definitely faster than delve farming, and as far as delves go, I still believe the like for myth crests, at least the 20 myth crest limit still exists for delves per week. Even though there's no limit on how many you can have, personally, I'm pretty sure you could still only farm like 20 myth crests from delve content. So that cap, I think, is still there. So I mean, and these are uncapped. Ritual sites, you just grind them till you until you've grinded down to your balls. There's nothing left, just a little stub and some balls. Yeah, you can keep grinding. So you just however many times you want to do it on a ritual site, you do it.
Crests. Once you got your hero crest, you also got a couple of ways of obtaining hero gear. And I'd say right now, delves is probably one of the fastest ways to farm them. At progression 9 of the delve season, you will then have a chance to start getting heroic gear from drops or shards, which then can eventually be used from bountiful delves to buy heroic items on the vendor, which can help fill out some of the pieces. Of course, delves also have that map, which basically gives you another guaranteed bonus hero track item for you to obtain as well. The vendor from delves in particular, the items are completely randomized, but every single time you run it, if you do see an item that your character can use and it's a hero track upgrade, you might as well pick it up as well. Another way to obtain more farmable hero track gear on a character without any breaks whatsoever would be, since you're going to be doing ritual sites, would be through the caches of Void Touch armament, which are hero track, which you can farm endlessly as much as you want to. Especially if you're going to be farming a ton of those ritual sites, the faster you run them, the more currency you can collect. Technically, you can get more of the accolades currency, which is necessary for this if you do full clears of the place. But even if you're there just for crests,
so these contain crests too. I didn't know that.
For additional hero track items, which don't really have a limit. Besides this, the only other places that you really should go for when it comes to hero track items would be raids and dungeons of at least +6 difficulty for Mythic Plus content. Though I would actually argue that solo content by far delves ritual site farming. Those things will give you a lot of just raw number of hero track items for your character to collect. Though, when you are trying to get some of the more rare and more valuable items, I feel like at the raid, we do have some very wonderful trinkets from the Gaze of Alnsir, the dragon trinket from the dragon boss, the feather from Bellarent. There's a lot of very, very core, powerful items that are still going to be amazing for characters that are still worth doing. But if you're just looking to get raw, just sheer number of various different items for all the slots, then other solo content I think will be the first place to start with. As for the Mythic Dawn Crest, the Mythic Crest, those you can essentially only really get ideally in huge quantities from Mythic Plus dungeons. That content seems to be the most farmable.
It is.
Technically, you do have the raids, which are not really all that puggable. Your experience may vary on that, though.
I mean, it's a little bit slower, but there is also the option that if you like pump up your heroic gear enough, you can start converting heroic crests to myth track crests. It's not the most optimal way to do it, but if you do get there, just make sure all of your items are upgraded. Don't leave that one slot that's sitting there still too low, and then you can't upgrade your crests. But if you get to that point where you can upgrade crests, then technically if you farm heroic crests, you're farming mythic crests. Ghost, thank you for the prime, man. 11 total, 5 months in a row of being a Death Knight of our Scourge. Thank you, man. I appreciate the prime a lot.
Mythic Plus dungeons of +9 difficulty and above are all relatively easy, especially this season, especially in this expansion. So farming them as high as possible is great. They do cap out on +12, so they don't really reward you more crests. above plus 12 difficulty. So if you're looking for plus 9 between plus 12, 80 of those keystones, that's a pretty good way of going about it. Now, as for the mythic gear itself, there's not really a lot of great ways or fast ways for you to obtain mythic items. Usually you would obtain them from maybe your weekly vault or mythic raiding in particular, but if you are trying to find the faster ways of obtaining them right now, then the reroll tokens that have been added as of this update, the nebulous void cores, that'll be your ideal way to get a bunch of mythic items. If you're running mythic plus keystone dungeons on a plus 10 difficulty, or
yes, and King Julian, you're right. In 12.0.7, you will also be able to farm myth track crests from tier 6 ritual sites. Yes, I mean, even more soloable content.
Higher. Anytime you use a nebulous void core, you use a single core to reroll one additional item from the dungeon, which always drops in mythic quality. So that'll be one of your best ways in order to be able to spend these nebulous void cores if you're trying to get more mythic gear out of your character. That'll be ideal way of going about it. Besides that, like the crafted gear that we talked about, that's another way for you to be able to invest those crests into guaranteed items with guaranteed stats if you have enough of the sparks available on a character. Sparks, as well as nebulous void cores, you can actually get from the vendor token or merit exchange. You get these token of merit, which are essentially pity coins. When you get nothing good from your Great Vault, which I feel like Marok has gotten for a number of weeks now, you can exchange them for either an additional reroll, which can be used in dungeons to get more mythic items, or more Sparks of Radiance to possibly get more crafted items on your character. One is going to be a little bit RNG, but you get to use a lot of them. The other is going to be something that you do have to invest quite a bit of resources into, but you get guaranteed items with guaranteed secondary stats, some with some amazing bonuses, which are great for certain classes. Also remember, as of this past week, we did also unlock the Nebulous Void Core transmutation, but also the Void Forge as well, which means you're able to collect Ascendant Void Shards from a variety of content, which Blizzard has actually made it drop as a guarantee from Delves, Prey,
this isn't really Crest relevant,
heroic raids, and above difficulty. So a bunch of content actually drops a bunch of these shards. So you get a lot of them pretty regularly. 5 shards combine together into a Void Core, and then you can use Void Core to upgrade your hero track and mythic track items that are fully upgraded. So only works on weapons and trinkets. This also applies for any crafted items which are hero track or mythic track quality, which means since you get a bunch of these right now with the guaranteed drop rates, you should be using these regularly. Whether you have a bunch of hero track or mythic track items, don't start saving these. Just start upgrading them right now because they give you a huge boost for all of your characters. Whether you're looking to get yourself fully heroed out as your endgame gear or going for those endgame mythic items in particular,
use
for
these
item levels pretty regularly. They drop quite a lot now, so start utilizing them as often as possible in order to make your character more powerful and more competitive throughout the rest of the season in Midnight. With that being said, as always, I do want to thank all of you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys did enjoy this update. If you did enjoy this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a like, as I would very, very much appreciate it. Be sure to join our Discord community. Link to that is in the description of every single video we'll put up on the channel. If you want to keep up with all things Midnight, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, I'll see all of you guys in the next one.
Yeah, I mean, quick thought on this. It seems like really what it is ritual sites are almost the best because they're unlimited. So like in terms of farming out crests, ritual sites are just unlimited farming. So if you've got plenty of time and you just want to, or even if you have a short amount of time, you can just run real quick. But if you got plenty of time and you're like, I just want to uncap run this shit right now, ritual sites are great for solo content. If in terms of like actually getting crests at a high rate, probably Mythic Plus is still the best, but that's not really solo content. That's your joining groups to do that. Obviously, Mythic Plus has always been a great source of crests for sure. But overall, with uncapped crests, I mean, it's time to farm, boys. This is great strats here on how to do it. Nice video overall from Dalaran.